Here I am in the round pen with Soup, preparing for ride 5. I had done a little bit of lunging with him and sacking him out, flapping the stirrups and such. Here I'm asking him to come up next to me so I can think about getting on, and he really wants to wing his hip away from me. So I'm working on having him actually stand next to me without yielding. He knows how to pick me up off the fence, so it's something he understands how to do. He's just playing hard to get, acting like he needs to be scared of me. He wants to be a pretty anxious horse, and he kind of acts like the human is out to get him most of the time. And he's getting better, but it's still something that he's working on. I wait for him to stand still before I step off. He just needs to be shown that he can relax. Life is not an emergency. Bend his head around a little bit to me. And step on. Now, I've only been on him with a saddle a couple times. A few of my rides with him have been bareback. One of those rides was in the lake. So moving out in the round pen is still a pretty new concept for him. This guy's 6 years old. I have had him a couple months now, maybe a little under 2 months. I don't know what was done with him beforehand, before I got him. I know he came out of Texas, and supposedly he was quote-unquote broke, but I don't know what that extent was. He definitely didn't act broke when I got him, so I'm pretty much just restarting him like he didn't know anything, and it seems to be working for me so far. I have this thing where I don't really trust that other people have done their homework with horses. So a mystery horse like this, I'm not going to assume that somebody else has done the correct work. I'm going to take him through the rigmarole, my usual program, and he's going to have to prove to me that he knows what he's doing. Right here, I'm just looking for hinds and want him to be soft. Sometimes he gets kind of dumb and wants to put his head up in the air, so I'll correct him for that. Little things like that say to me that he has been ridden some and maybe been allowed to get away with things, but he's not very committed to it, so it's something that I just correct and we move on. Looking for that front now. If I get just a step, then I'll praise him. This guy generally wants to be good. He tries. He just sometimes has pretty big reactions to things, especially on the ground. But he hasn't offered to be like that under saddle. He's been pretty chill. Looking for him to step that front to the right there. That was really nice. This guy is easily the most flexible horse I've probably had my hands on. He really wants to be just crazy bendy through his neck and head. And that is what gave him his nickname of Soup, because he's bendy like a noodle, chicken noodle soup. Looking for that hip again here. But he wants to be really soft in the hackamore. He's only been in a hackamore a couple times with me. I don't know if he's had a bit in his mouth. I haven't bitted him yet. He very well could have in his previous life. Kind of looking for a few forward steps here. Now, I believe this was my second time saddling him and riding him in the round pen, so we have walked and trotted in the round pen before. And the last time he wanted to settle right there next to the gate and even offered kicking out when we were looking for a trot, and I corrected him. So I was really interested to see how he was going to be during this ride. Looking for him to walk out some more here. I'm praising him. Kind of wants to do the whole take a couple steps and stop thing. There's some parts here where he kind of acts like a colt, but that same behavior could be just because he's been kind of spoiled, and it's hard to say really how much he knows. There, he's walking out pretty nice. He doesn't really want to go towards that right-hand side of the round pen there. I kind of had to work for it. He doesn't act like anywhere is particularly spooky or anything like that. He just has a pretty strong draw back towards that gate. Turn him around against the fence there. Go to walk out the other way. He didn't really want his hip to be on the fence. He's kind of carrying himself sideways. That's just that draw messing with him. He's not really tracking straight. It's just something that we need to work on. Looking for a little more impulsion here. He's trying to cut into the round pen, make a quicker circle back to where he wants to go. And I'm trying to keep him on the fence as much as I can so he uses the whole round pen. When he goes to trot off right there, which is what I was looking for, I go ahead and bend him around. And then we walk off again. Once he finally commits to it, he's being really sticky right here. He's not using the whole round pen. See how he just veers off into the inside and then wants to travel kind of sideways. Looking for a trot again. Just waiting for him. This horse has a tendency to get kind of pissy when he's asked to work. So right there, I bring him around and I'm kind of aggressive about it because I'd been asking him to trot for quite a while and he's just blatantly ignoring me. He knows what I'm asking for. So I went ahead and made it a little bit more work for him to be a butthead. Still looking for a trot. There it is. And right when he breaks into a trot, he wants to come back to a walk. He's acting like that upward transition is kind of a scary thing for him. And I'm using the tail of my rope occasionally when he's not listening to anything else. I have that forward feeling through my body. I'm clicking to him and I'm kicking him when I'm asking him to move out. So it's just a matter of him staying in the gait that I put him in. Bend him into the fence right there. Go the other direction. Hunt that trot. He's going to want to stop by that gate pretty bad. That's kind of the place that he wants to be. Spank him on the butt. Try to get him to move out a little bit better. He's just not quite freed up. And it's just more of the same, just trying to get him to follow his nose and travel around the outside of that round pen without just cutting across back to the gate, and trying to keep him at a trot while I'm doing so. He's pretty happy to just trot a few strides and quit. So when one is like this, I'm just looking for him to free up. So once he can kind of trot more than a few strides at a time, then I can start praising him. If we can trot a whole round around the round pen without him stopping, that would be super. That was really nice right there. So I ask him to stop and praise. And I'm careful to praise him on the side of the round pen opposite from where he wants to be. He's pretty happy to just hang out right there. Change directions into the fence and go the other way. I have not asked him to lope with me on him yet. That's still coming. And we don't hit that quite in this session yet. Of course, he has loped with the saddle. Trotting out on that right circle now. He's a lot more freed up on this side. Just keep him going all the way around. That's really good right there. Big change. Really good stuff here. Finally starting to kind of free up. I ask him to stop. That was a really nice stop. I pat on him quite a bit, wiggle a little bit, and then step off. That was a good little ride for this guy. He's making improvements, coming right along. Interested to see what he will end up being. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.